I saw the maddest thing on socials today, mate. We all know Man United are linked with Amrabat. The deal is on. The deal is active. It's something that I loved how the media put it today. They're sort of like Man United are monitoring him and they admire him. And I know you love those buzzwords. I've seen your video viral of you saying that. But then when you kind of read the full report, it's they want to get their goalie and their striker done first. Then they're going to look for another midfielder, which means we're active in this deal, but we need to get priorities done first. And I think we spoke about this last week. Amrabat to Man United would be a phenomenal piece of business, especially for around the 20-25 million pound they're talking. He is top class. There is no doubt about it. But Man United fans this afternoon, I've seen a few of them talk about bringing back Paul Pogba because Juve would accept around 10 million euros for him. Paul Pogba back to Man United. Some of them think that Ten Hag could turn him into a star and there's no risk in the deal. That's what they think.
Good job they ain't paid to think then, isn't it?
I can't believe
they just love a love story. Terry, these football fans, so many of them online, especially, I guarantee that was Twitter, right?
Yes.
So many of them on Twitter just love the storyline. They love the emotions. Yeah, it's like, oh my God, we could bring Pogba back and it could be a fairy tale, redemption. We had it with Granit Xhaka. Oh, redemption. What are you waffling about? Like, Paul Pogba is not coming back to Man United and he ain't good enough to play for Man United right now if you want to win a title. That's it. Yeah, Paul Pogba 4 years ago, cool. Yeah, but again, he was misused, mismanaged, and his attitude at times was a joke. Yeah, top footballer when he's on it. Yeah, I said many times, yeah, that when he was playing really well, he was the best midfielder in the world. Yeah, the problem is he didn't do it consistently. Now, whether that's just down to him or whether that was down to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or a bit of both. Yeah, I know he had a load of dramas with his brother, I think it was, like off-field stuff. Yeah, like, mate, the guy's career, he's going to look back at it and think what could have been. Because even though he's won a lot of trophies and he's won a lot of big trophies, yeah, he could have won a lot more. And he could have been in there for Ballon d'Or shouts and everything. Yeah, and it's kind of mad because I said this about Eden Hazard as well. Yeah, Eden Hazard's another one. Like, he could have been the best player on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like people like that wind me up. It's like you've got all that talent, but it just don't seem like you want it. Like, you're just doing the bare minimum. Yeah, and, you know, Man United fans also did scapegoat him quite a lot when they should have been blaming it on Ollie, playing him at right wing back at one game, I think it was, right wing back. Like, what's that all about? I think you played him at centre back at one game. No, it's just ridiculous. He ain't coming back. Like, whoever's sitting there trying to have this little fairy tale, no, get out, man. Get some fresh air.
Yeah, look, I look at everyone knows I love and rated Paul Pogba, but I've got a feeling he's finished at the highest level, and I'm talking injuries.
He'll go Saudi.
You know, yeah, I think he may. If he leaves Juve, like the guy played 161 minutes last year. Someone actually in the comments a minute ago said, I'd take him at Arsenal on loan if he's over his injuries. But he isn't over his injuries. Pogba over the last 3 to 4. One of the reasons I didn't want us to re-sign him on 400 grand a week is that invariably, since he was at United, he was missing 2 to 3 months every season. You can't afford to have someone on that kind of money and then miss. I know we had this conversation about Neymar, but when you miss more than 2 or 3 months of the season, almost as a guarantee every year, you can't afford to pay someone that amount of money.
It depends, because if he's doing above and beyond the Call of Duty when he is playing, and it's elevating you so high up that it's not so much of a miss when he's out, yeah, then it doesn't really matter.
City could get away with it.
When he was playing well, it wasn't.
It's more about your squad. I think it's more about your squad. It's can your squad cope without him? The problem is for most teams, you can't afford to pay too many players that kind of money, and the amount of money he demands is a star. You need your stars to be available, unless you can afford to have 2 or 3 stars, and when he's missing, you know, it's no big deal for you. But yeah, I wouldn't touch Pogba again with a barge pole. But it's even like Martial. There are some Man United fans who still go on, you know, maybe this year. You know, we've got a friendly tomorrow. He ain't going because his hamstring ain't recovered from the end of the season. So he's still injured. And there are Man United fans who legitimately think Martial's got... Listen, I understand the romantic element of a player that's fallen from grace or been sold or that everyone's written off coming back. There's talk of Sancho getting another one final attempt, and even that I sort of think I get. That would be his 3rd season. He has to deliver. I get the romance behind. Oh, imagine if he turns it back on and gets back to his best. The story, the romance, the Disney element of it. You know, the fanfare at the end when he's being held aloft, and oh my God, I was right to back him. But football fans have got to wake up and smell the coffee. How often does that really happen? drop the fantasy, drop the movie-like script. I
Mm.
love Rocky and I love the Creed films, but they're not real. They don't really.
Ultimately, you have to win stuff, and you have to be a big part in winning it. It's all well and good talking about Jadon Sancho and mate, it's his third season coming up. He's been crap for 2. He had 3 months off last season because of whatever issue we don't know. Yeah, it was peddled up in the media as he needs to get his mental health straight. Nobody actually knows why he was off for 3 months. Nobody has a clue. That was the story that was put out there. Cool, maybe that is the case. But at the same time, he come back and did nothing. Do you know what I mean? He deleted all of his social media posts on Instagram. Like, deleted every picture. Yeah, and then had 3 months off to get his head straight, apparently. Come back and did nothing. And it's like, paid 72 million quid for him. He's on 300 grand a week. And I know it's not your money or anyone else's money, but when you've got a player that is that high profile, that was supposed to be coming in to be a big piece of the pie, and to elevate you into title charge, and he's costing the club that much money, you better have been in him, mate. Yeah, just bin him. Get 30, 40 million quid back for him and just see you later. Yeah, and the problem is there's too many fans that are emotionally invested in individual players, like Martial, like Pogba's, like Sancho's. Same at every football club. They rep the player more than they rep the club. Yeah, because then they can sit and banter. So Jadon Sancho, for example, anytime anyone mentions Jadon Sancho from the Arsenal fan base mentions him, yeah, but what about Pepe? Yeah, now it's a banter thing. Yeah, and that is all it is, mate.
Even within the Man United fan base. Now, I know you're not the biggest fan of Bruno and Rashford. I know you don't, but that's because you don't like them. There are a lot of Man United fans who hate on those two because they have this weird, especially as some of them are grown men, there is this weird love they have for Martial and Pogba and Sancho. Now, for me, I find it with my love is Man United, so I want us to win. So I much prefer the stylistic view and the way he plays of Paul Pogba compared to Bruno. But I prefer what Bruno has done for Man United because he individually has delivered more than Pogba did. And that's what I want. And if you can bring me in a player that starts in front of Pogba, that is more consistent and delivers more than he does, then I would advocate Pogba being dropped. I have no...
That's a perfect way of putting it, because in an Arsenal sense, Mesut Ozil was supposed to be the talismanic figure, coming in superstar, but in reality, it was Aaron Ramsey that actually delivered. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and Ramsey won us 2 FA Cups, scoring the winner in 2 FA Cup finals. Yes, I know Ozil played in one of them, but maybe he played in both of them.
Yeah,
no,
but
the season after.
Yeah, but this is the thing. You need to be like, I'm not emotional about the players. I'm emotional about the club, and I'll defend players when I think people like today. I tweeted something about PSG's interest in Rashford, and of course they're interested. Rashford is one of the best inside forwards in the world. Now, may not be the best, but he's one of the best. He's in the top 5, top 6 on that left-hand side in the world. So of course the biggest clubs are going to be interested, especially if you're losing Neymar and Mbappe, who are both better than him. You start going down the list. Of course he's on that list. And I get responses from people saying, Terry, why are you so panicked about losing Rashford and acting like we're losing Pete Messi? I literally, and you know, all I said is we've got to get him tied down to his new deal, and stop all this talk. Like, where did I mention Messi? Where did I say he was the greatest player ever of all time? Like, why are you being so over the top? And that's the bit that gets to me about Man United fans. The same people that will be like, let's give Pogba, let's sign him, let's give him one more go, guys, are the same people that will call Rashford a scrub. And it makes no sense to me. Like, one has delivered for the club. The other one has forced the move away twice, right? And it's nothing to do with their behavior. It's all to do with their own feelings around, I want to be right. So there are people that are so desperate for Sancho to succeed, not because it means Man United succeed, but it means they can say, I was right about the player.
My player, yeah.
That for me is it's narcissism and mental illness. That's what it boils down to. Like, yeah, it's nice when you get a prediction right. It's not great when you get one wrong. But at the end of the day,
you get put in the mud, didn't you, Tell?
Yeah, exactly. I've been in the mud. I've been seen as right. For me, it's become strange now that people, just for people to appear right or less wrong, they attack their own kind of willy-nilly. It's very, very strange to me.
But that's social media for you, Terry, and social media is a reflection of society. Yeah, like if you speak the truth, you get shut down. So I'll give an example. When I'm sitting on an Instagram reel from 2 months ago saying sack Arteta, yeah, this is the 3rd full season he's not won anything. that is the longest trophy drought in a decade. Yeah, he's done £500 million, and we've only just finished above Emery's full season. That's had nearly 1 million views, that Insta reel. And it is thousands and thousands of people just going, dickhead, toxic, because they've got no argument against factual information. So when you're putting out factual information, Rashford's actually delivered at Man United, Sancho hasn't, or Pogba didn't and forced to move away, people don't want to hear it. Yeah, they just want to shut it down and dismiss it and call you a name or like use something else. And that's how it is. That's life though, man. And that filters into social media. You just got to laugh at it because facts don't care about feelings, mate. The facts don't change on any subject you talk about. If it's factual, it is factual. Rashford has done more at Man United than other players, including Sancho.
But equally on top of that, I want more consistency from him. I want him to repeat it again this year or I'll criticize him. And if we could sign Mbappe tomorrow, but it meant Rashford gets dropped, I wouldn't care. I don't believe in it's all about my team, my team being better and setting the same standards for everybody, as opposed to sort of picking and choosing who gets, who you give the standards to and who you don't, and moving goalposts and not being consistent. It's very, very strange.
Do you like that comment in the chat from Hugh? It's a fact we should sack Arteta, ? Try again. Where did I say it was a fact that we should sack Arteta? What is a fact is it's 3 years without a trophy, the longest in a decade at Arsenal, and he's done £500 million by the end of last season. That is factual information. Yeah, it's then my opinion to sack him. Where did I say it was fact? And this is what people hear, just a tiny little piece and make a whole new story out of it. It's funny. It is funny.
Exactly. And but this is the thing with people who don't do the facts thing. So I saw someone tweet earlier on today. Until Bruno has a top class performance in a final, I'll never rate him. But this is the problem with people that say things like this. If he has a top class performance in a final, you move the goalpost again. And that's
he's only done it once. It was fluke.
Yeah. Why did he? But it took him his 4th attempt in a final. He didn't do it on I remember when Rooney hadn't scored at World Cup, and all the England fans that hated on him were like, until he scores at a World Cup, I ain't rating him. Then he scored. And it was, but he should have done it in the previous ones. I know exactly what they're going to do before they do it.
It's like Harry Kane. If Harry Kane wins a trophy, but it's only one.
Yeah, no, exactly. They won't just go, you know what, bang, he delivered. Because one of the first things they said about Bruno was, until Bruno scores in a final, I don't want to know. The fact is, he captained us in a final to a final win over Newcastle, and he scored the only goal that we got in the 2-1 defeat in the FA Cup final, as an example. He scored in semi-finals for us, as an example. And the thing is,
however, ghost in the Europa League final.
He did. The thing is, my point is that I don't. This is where the facts thing becomes weird. It's like I don't deny that. The difference is, for me, it's not. I'm not all or nothing. It's not until he performs in at least one final, he's crap. Because then when he does, you move the goalpost again. For me, it's like I look at the overall body of work, and it's like I judge all the footballers at my club based on the standards that the legends have set before. So the likes of Bruno and Rashford have done a decent job in recent years, goals and everything else. But until they start bringing in Prems and Champions Leagues, I'll never put them anywhere near. Someone asked me the other day, is De Gea a legend? I said, De Gea is like a hero, maybe. But when I look at what Alex Stepney did, Schmeichel did, Van der Sar did, he doesn't touch them yet. No matter what his ability comes to, it's the overall package. I just maintain that same standard for everybody.
But we get this about Podolski all the time. Oh, Podolski, what a legend. What, because he jumped in the crowd at White Hart Lane? Do me a favour. He's a cult hero, maybe. But
Jess was saying there was an Arsenal fan the other day that was saying I think her kids, who were fairly young, I think in their like early mid-teens, that don't remember Arsenal being a good team, were in tears that Xhaka was leaving, because for them, Xhaka's been one of their best players, because they don't remember Arsenal being amazing.
Yeah, but you know what, Terry, right? One of my pals, big up my boy Jay. His dad's out here at the minute. He's got a gaff around the corner, I picked him up from the airport the other day, and he goes every single home game. He's got a season ticket. He's had it for donkey's years. He's in his 60s. And he said to me, on the last day of the season against Wolves, there was grown men in their 60s singing and crying, "We want you to stay," to Granit Xhaka. And he was walking out, right? And everyone's kicking off, going, "Where are you going? Where are you going, John? Where are you going?" Because I ain't celebrating second. What are you talking about? Oh, but come on, it's been a great season, mate. The club's done. It's done. Because it's not just kids, Terry. Fully grown adults that have had tickets for 40 seasons are sitting there crying that Granit Xhaka's leaving. Loads of them. Wow. So it's not just kids.
Wow,
It's mad.
that is a madness one to me.
Especially when you think that these people are older than me, yeah, right? So they've seen a generation of football before I was even born, yeah. So they've seen real bad times and they've seen some good times as well, yeah, right. And then they've seen all the good times along the way as well. To sit there and cry that you're seeing Granit Xhaka leaving when you've seen some of the greatest. You see Liam Brady play for this club, like, do you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's mad, mate. It's mad.
Yeah,
but this is where we're at, bro.
This
This is where we're at.
This here says.